If you're just beginning to learn how to play guitar, or maybe you're in a proto punk or garage rock style band, and you're realizing that rhythm chords and single note leads can only take you so far, then this is the video for you. I'll show you 5 proto punk lead guitar techniques that you can use in any song, in any key. I'm going to show you techniques that bands like the Stooges, MC5, New York Dolls, 13th Floor Elevators, and more use in their music all the time. And stick around to the end because the last technique is really something that's kind of outside of the box that'll add a lot to your lead playing. So if that sounds good to you, grab your guitar and let's go. Alright, so the first technique we're going to start off with is more of a garage rock style technique. It kind of sounds like something the 13th Floor Elevators or other garage rock style bands would play. And so we're going to take just kind of a generic chord progression that goes like this. So we're playing an open E to a D to a G to a D. And so the song is in the key of E. And so over this we're going to play a lead in the key of E that sounds very reminiscent of garage rock. And it goes like this. Alright, so let's break down what I'm doing here. So we're going to be in the E minor pentatonic scale in the open position, because the song's in the key of E. And we're basically going to start off with a big unison bend, and we're going to do it at the 2nd fret of the G string. So we're going to bend up a full step so that we're matching the open note on the B string. And then we're just going to go back and forth. Instead of playing both notes at the same time, we're going to go back and forth. And then we can kind of bring the bend down. And this is something that the garage rock bands just love to do all the time. And then we can kind of do some vibrato at the end. And then we're going to go to a kind of crampsy 13th Floor Elevators, garage rocky kind of lead from there. And we're just going to play 3 notes within the minor pentatonic scale. And so we're going to add vibrato here and there, and then we're going to have a big unison bend that we just kind of bring back down from where it starts. And it just kind of gives you kind of that gritty, nasty kind of sound. And again, you can play any type of rhythm in that minor pentatonic. It doesn't have to be what I played. But an important factor into getting that kind of garage rocky proto-punk sound is that big unison bend. And we don't have to just do it in the open position. We could do it at the 12th fret. So play around with these big kind of discordant unison bends where you kind of bring it up slowly, bring it down slowly, and just kind of mess around with it. And the important thing to know is you can play these bends anywhere within a scale as long as you know the key of the song. So the example we used was E, and usually the key of the song is the first chord that's within the song. And if it's not the first chord, it's almost always going to be another chord in the song. So try playing a lead in a scale that matches the first chord. If that doesn't work, you can try the other chords. And so the next technique we're going to talk about is something that James Williamson of Iggy and the Stooges does. And it's kind of more of a rhythm technique, but it's also a lead technique because he played both, and that's incorporating individual scale notes in a chord progression. And so with the song Search and Destroy in the pre-chorus part, it's a really good example. And so the part goes like this. So breaking this down, James Williamson is going to start with a power chord that is rooted on the 4th fret of the A string. And this is a C sharp chord. And so then he's going to play a single note kind of pattern within the C sharp major scale. Then he's going to move down to a B chord. And then he's going to play the same single note pattern just in the B major scale. And then he's going to go down to an A chord and do a very similar thing. And then he starts over. So if you notice, he's playing the chord, and then he's incorporating these major scale notes within the chord pattern. And then he continues on doing the same thing, so we have an F sharp chord. And then the notes of an F sharp major scale. Then up to an A major scale, A little different this time because he goes from 4th to the 7th fret on the A string. And then finishes it up with an E doing the same thing. And so this is something you can substitute in your rhythm and lead playing instead of just playing chords. You can add a little bit of flavor. And so the next technique I want to talk about is something I've covered in a lot of videos, especially my Johnny Thunders series, so check those out if you're into Johnny Thunders. But I'll cover it again in case you're new here. And that's the use of double stop bends, or I like to call them Chuck Berry style bends. And so a great example of this is Personality Crisis by the New York Dolls. And the song goes... So basically we have a chord progression that goes from C to D to G. And they like to use these pinky accents. And so over this chord progression, Johnny Thunders is going to play a double stop bend progression, which just ends with this like power chord kind of hanging. So the first chord is a C. So we're going to find our C on the high E, which is at the 8th fret. And we're going to bridge our index finger across the 8th fret of the B and E strings. And then we're going to bend at the 10th fret of the G string and kind of go back and forth. So that's a full bend. And we're going to just go back and forth between the double stop, which is at the 8th fret of the B and E, and the bend, which is at the 10th fret of the G string. And so then we're going to move up to the D, which is the next chord, which is at the 10th fret of the high E string. So we're going to do a double stop at the 10th fret and bend at the 12th fret of the G string. So we have... And then he just ends with a power chord at the G. And so the rhythm guitar is playing a low G. He's just going to play a high G. And then it goes into the verse. So this is a really cool technique because you don't need to know the key that the song is in to play this. All you have to do is figure out the chord that you're playing over. So for example, if we have a G chord that's rooted at the 3rd fret of the low E, we just find our G on the high E, which is the 3rd fret of the high E, and we do our double stop there, and then we do our bend 2 frets up on the G string. And so you can do this over any chord progression, just figure out the chords that you're playing and then play the corresponding double stop bend over the chord. Alright, so another really cool technique that you can use that's very proto-punky, garage rock style is the use of a wah-wah pedal as a filter. And so a lot of people are familiar with a wah-wah pedal like Jimi Hendrix style where you're kind of actively playing it. But another way to use it like the Stooges is to actually use it kind of more as a filter. So you're kind of accessing certain frequencies by keeping the pedal in a certain position. And Mick Ronson did this a lot when playing with Bowie. And it sounds like this in Now I Want to Be Your Dog. So the song kind of starts off with this power chord progression with the wah-wah pedal on. And so basically we're just kind of pushing the wah-wah pedal down slowly as we play the chords. And then it goes into this kind of ad-libbed frantic lead that's in the minor pentatonic scale. And it's really just ad-lib, that's not what he plays, but it's kind of similar to what he plays. And so then continuing with the wah, then we're going to go into the main riff of the song. And so that's using kind of the wah-wah as a filter. We're very slowly bringing it down and back as we play that main riff, and it kind of gives it that kind of eerie, ominous feel as you play it. And so adding to that, we're playing these power chords. But the song's in the key of E, so we're also just hitting that low E throughout. So not only we're playing these power chords rooted on the A string, but we're also playing that low E. So it gives it that kind of thick, ominous, discordant sound while also using the wah to kind of emphasize it. And so if you have a wah-wah pedal, experiment around with it. We're using very slow kind of motions up and down to access the frequencies that we want without too much variation, which is opposed to the traditional wah feel where you're kind of playing along with the notes and kind of emphasizing each note. We're just going to be kind of bringing it down and back very slowly as we play these rhythms and leads. And so this last technique is going to keep on with the theme of discordant, and it's kind of reminiscent of the style of the Electric Eels, who are kind of a lesser known proto-punk band out of Cleveland. They had a very garagey, abrasive kind of sound, and one of the things that they really like to do with their guitar leads was play these unison bends kind of out of key, and play out of key very high kind of abrasive notes. And so kind of a generic example of what an Electric Eel song would sound like. We'll keep it real simple. So over the top of that, they're going to use unison bends, and they're going to use some in key and some out of key. So we might play the first one as a G, right here with our index finger at the 8th fret of the B string and our ring finger bending at the 10th fret of the G string. And we're going to kind of bend it out of tune. And maybe it kind of goes in tune and out of tune. And then when the chord progression switches to the E chord, we might go to the E unison bend, like 12th fret of the high E, 15th fret of the B string. Again, kind of out of tune. Might even hit some extra strings. And then we might even just throw in a random bend. So a lead over the top of those chords might sound something like... So you can kind of mess around with unison bends, kind of bending them out of key. It's kind of like a precursor of what Greg Ginn was doing with Black Flag, playing these kind of atonal discordant leads. And then another thing that they like to do is maybe play single notes, like really abrasive, sometimes in key and sometimes out of key. So we might play the 15th fret of the high E, which is a G. And then it might go up to like a double note version, so maybe the 16th fret of the high E, 15th fret of the B string. So we're just kind of ad-libbing this kind of atonal abrasive kind of sound. But it's really abrasive. So the full lead might be something like... So kind of the framework that we're working under here is these kind of in-key unison bends that are bent out of tune, and then they're going to throw in a random out-of-key unison bend that may also be bent out of tune, and then we're going to be playing these abrasive notes that may be partially in the key of the song, partially out of the key. And again, this is all just kind of a framework to work under. I'm sure a lot of these leads were somewhat ad-libbed, but it gives you a starting point from where you can build your discordant leads. And so that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe. And if you're enjoying this video, check out my beginner punk guitar course on my website, scottobryanguitar.com. I've taken the most important rhythm and lead punk guitar techniques and distilled it down to a 12 video course that's super easy to follow for beginners. Is made up of very short videos, 5 to 10 minutes, with no nonsense, so you can watch the video in bite-sized chunks and then practice the techniques. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.